Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Mike with smartoptiontrading.com. It's Friday, August 17th. This is your daily morning setups video, and it's a Friday in August, and it's options expiration. That means today is likely to be a tough, difficult, whippy, choppy, nasty, low volume day, especially as we head into the afternoon. That said, we can look for things to play. I encourage you guys to be a little bit more careful today than normal, right? Again, Fridays in August, typically not the easiest to trade, and expect volume to drop off rapidly this morning as we go into the afternoon, barring there be news and stuff. And I know Trump's out there tweeting already, so who knows? But that said, let's jump into it. So first off, overnight futures are down slightly, mostly flat. The Qs are down a little bit more in the SPY, and that's because of the hits we're taking over there in the semi world. Put the call, shot back up, but really there's no worries here. We're in good shape, and basically our sentiment stuff is all in pretty good shape here. Again, the oscillator is bouncing back. This type of action does tend to drive the oscillators nuts. This whippy back and forth, big moves each day really ramps them back and forth, and it's not great for what we're looking for. That said, everything looks fine. There's no worries here in sentiment world coming into today. What do we have tonight? Well, we have consumer confidence report at 10 a.m. this morning. We have the rig count at 1 o'clock today on oil. Oil is now trying to hold a 200-day. Again, it does not look good here for energy right now. And oil, I was reading this week will mark, barring a big reversal, the 7th week oil has been down in a row, closing on the week. Tells you all you need to know. What are bonds doing this morning? ZB. See, this morning I remembered it, Chris. Bonds are up again, showing there's still a little bit of fear out there. Just a flight to safety, but gold remains completely dead. There was some big buys into the GLD yesterday, but we've seen this before, and they just don't seem to be able to get anything going. And cryptos are out of play. So one of the things we need to focus on right away and talk about, just because we want to do it, is NVIDIA earnings. Earnings were great. Their profits were fabulous. They guided down for the third quarter. Let me put this in perspective. They just 2 days ago, they released their newest chipset for professionals and AI. And next week on the 20th, we're expecting to get the launch of the retail version, which will be the 2010 or something like that. Some new naming brand with it. What happens when the chip's about to be announced for NVIDIA is the sales of their old chips drop greatly because nobody wants to buy a chip that's about to become obsolete, right? And they launch the new chip next week. When for the first 3 to 4 months, maybe even longer, they're constrained. So the way they make these chips is the first release of the chip is called usually their 80.AO architecture, and when they make a sheet of these chips, there's only so many that fit that have the can be throttled up to meet the requirements of that chipset. The rest chips are not good enough for that, and they get turned into some lower end chips down the road, like the .70s, the .60s, the 50s you hear and stuff like that. So what happens is because they have a limited amount, they're always constrained to begin with. Okay, so they downgrade. The other big news, and the reason we want to go into NVIDIA here first, is they basically said they're expecting no additional revenue from cryptocurrency farmers moving forward. They originally slotted $100 million. They only came in with 18 million. And that makes sense given what the crypto market's doing here. Okay, all good. So we'll come back to NVIDIA in a minute. Let's go back to the SPY for today and take a look here. So first of all, here on the SPY this morning, what are we looking for? Again, the gap is filled, right? This island top is now invalidated. This gap is filled. So for today, you'd like to keep in this range. Hold the 8-day now would be really nice. If we can stay above this 8-day around 283.50, that would be awesome. And I don't care if we do nothing today on the indexes. As long as we can hold above here, I think we're good. If the markets want to get one of those grindy days, right, 286.01 is your next area of resistance, right? So you can try to grind up all the way to here and then eventually 286.63. If we keep coming down, we don't hold the 8-day, you have a gap now, right? Another open gap. This market loves gaps. And the gap goes to, let's call it 282.54. Okay, so you got a little open gap right to here that they may try to come and fill, and then here's your 21-day at 282. That's what we're looking for in our range today. We have a big week next week of news. With earnings season over, we have China coming in next week to talk with us. We are hearing talks of a possible NAFTA deal with Mexico, and then they would have 2 weeks to negotiate that with Canada to get this done, because it's going to require 90 days to get the new NAFTA treaty passed before the current president goes out in Mexico. So there's a lot going on here, and there's going to be a lot of news around all this next week. So just bear that in mind, but keep an eye on the autos. The automakers will love this NAFTA deal. So that means your GM and your Ford will be really good, and they'll really like stuff like that. All right. Coming into today, guys, I advise you to be very, very choppy. They whip and move names around and try to move things out. Here's NVIDIA today. NVIDIA is coming up off the lows here. I haven't seen any upgrades or downgrades on it. Doesn't mean there aren't any out there. It just means they're not hitting my radar for some reason. I'm going looking again right here. Here we go. Cohen reiterates outperform. Stifle reiterates hold. But basically, nobody out there doing stuff that is really going to say to me, hey, look out or be careful. They're basically all just kind of sitting tight, reiterating the positions they are currently in, basically is what we're seeing. So nobody's really going. So watch NVIDIA, because if NVIDIA starts clawing back, they may come back for the chip makers. AMD's been the best in breed. Keep an eye on this one today. It's already up off the lows. See if it wants to go. This is a big spot for NVIDIA here. I mean, AMD here. It's been going up. It's grinding. It's got resistance clearly defined around this 20 area. Can it get back up and above it? What else? Micron has been left for dead. No flow coming into that one. That one I'd be careful with at this point till we see some flow. Same thing with Intel. All right, let's go back closer to home. Apple has been the name to watch. As long as this name stays strong, I'm not overly worried about the market. Is it heated up here and a little extended? Yes. But can it move? Looking at today, it could try to pin anywhere from 210 to 215. Both of those look like likely attempt candidates. We'll see if they try. They did push the 214 pre and came down. I think a move to 215 today might be quick, and then Apple may need a couple of days off. Deere earnings today were not good. They guided down, so they missed. They guided down. A lot of talk about our orders being put on hold or canceled because of the tariffs and what's being done against the soybean farmers, specifically in that area. So we'll be careful with that. Keep an eye on EA today. Again, another day of call buying. This name looks like it's under consolidation and they want it. I would keep an eye on Square. This name still looks good here, even though yesterday cost me some money. Twitter yesterday was interesting to me that it held in a weak market in that FANG space, back above the 8-day, just no power. Have to keep an eye on that one. To me, see what they do with these FANG names. They didn't want them yesterday. Is this the part of a trend, or are they just taking a day off here heading into options expiration? Netflix closed basically on the lows, was weak all day, new range low. Facebook coming right back down, right? Not good. Google was weak all day long, coming down and going through the 21-day. So there's a little bit of worries here in this sector. It's just a sign to be cautious. BMY this morning had drug news on cancer drug. They're up. Merck saw a nice flow yesterday. Nice move here. Same thing with LLY. I mean, these names have all popped so much. Teva, another nice huge day yesterday on big time volume here. See what they want to do. Just out of curiosity, BHC, nothing. But overall, if you look at the IBB, there's really was very little action in there. Even SRPT with the upgrades and big insider buys is not getting any traction down here right now. It's having a tough time getting going. So my message to you guys today is to play easy, play carefully, see how the market treats you, what it does. Win's still sitting down here struggling. And we'll, nice and slow today. It's Friday. Low expectations on a Friday. Next week we go into a week before we go into the last 2 weeks of August next week. So lots of news ahead. Everybody trade well. I'll be back live at 9.